NTD, start and verify recordings of our Orion cameras.
Copy.
Okay. Well, there you heard it.
RSR, NTD.
RSR.
They're getting ready to start terminal count.
AR rotation enable at this time, please.
Okay, I think that was the
Hey, folks, we're about ready to go here.
It's described.
Yeah, and the goal there is, again, they're trying not to make this a human decision. It isn't your feeling about going, it's does all your telemetry.
So we're about ready to go with the Artemis mission. Hang on, my light's not on. Too many crickets. Talk about not being ready. Why does everybody have to do everything the day that I come back from a long flight from Las Vegas? Spaceship launches, president speaking about Iran, everything is going on tonight. All right, so the launch apparently is on. We're waiting for it to go here. This thing is scheduled to go. The window opens up in 2 minutes. In just 2 minutes, that window will be open. Thank you all for being here, whoever's shown up. I appreciate your presence. And let's see what's going on here. So we've got, that's the one I want. I've got a different feed here. I got a couple different feeds from NASA. Let me see.
That they had a good lock.
There we go.
This was with the S-band transmitter on the Orion.
Orion spacecraft.
Work through that.
Sorry, we normally better prepare for this, but it's been a long day here.
And cleared it.
So let me get this down here.
With the world watching.
Yes, the world is watching and hoping for the very best.
Work by the launch team.
So we're in the window now.
2-hour window.
And I won't be able to stay with you for 2 hours.
A few minutes at 6:24
1 minute.
p.m. Eastern Time and goes until 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time.
Well, I'll be on the radio at 7, so I can only stay with you for a short bit.
Waiting for your verification on the short purge.
ECL copies.
And for all personnel, once we get that short purge verification, we'll verify that we are clear to go, and then we'll proceed with the terminal count.
All right. Well, let's see what happens here. This will be the first manned mission to the moon. It's not going to actually land on the moon. They're going to fly around the moon. It'll be the furthest distance ever traveled by humans from Earth, beating the Apollo 13 mission, which was aborted. They never did land on the moon, and we're lucky to get home. Of course, famously, a movie came out of that, from that experience done by Ron Howard. But
ECL time estimate?
About a minute.
All right, so we're going to be... The window opens in just a moment here, folks. And we're looking to see where we're at. Okay, so let's get this up on the screen. Oh, of course, who the hell's calling me now? See many crickets, I swear. People have no manners. All right, so here we go.
So
there it is.
To the launch window.
It doesn't mean they're going to launch in 1 minute. It just means the window opens up in 1 minute.
Just wrapping up some final work.
4 astronauts on this mission.
And once that's completed, you'll hear NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding ask for the ground launch sequencer operator to go ahead and start the clock.
So we're just moments away from
the ground
this.
Launch sequencer is an application software. It runs on top of the launch control system in the firing room. Acts like a conductor of an orchestra, executing hundreds of commands in precise order and timing. It's all autonomous.
NTD CCL 212, short purge.
There was an issue with the hatch.
Copy that, and we're verifying our constraints.
But that was resolved. Liftoff is supposed to take off now, and we're waiting to see. Astronauts for the crew are Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, along with the Canadian Space Agency's Jeremy Hansen. It's a risky lunar venture. First time astronauts have returned to the vicinity of the moon.
From cutouts. And with that, we're going to resume the clock
Here we go.
momentarily.
All right. So it's been 50 years.
You can resume the clock on your mark.
GLS copies.
Let's see how long count on.
2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
All right, folks, 10 minutes to the launch. Let's hope everything goes smoothly from this point on. Let's see what happens here.
That begins terminal count. Our new T0 is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We are now counting down to liftoff of Artemis 2.
Exciting times. A mission, a long time in preparation, many, many years. And, of course, the focus for NASA for a long period of time was that they're sending women back into space and to the moon, which has never happened before. But they will not be landing on the moon, simply flying around it. Proof of concept here. There was a battery problem earlier as well on the Orion capsule's launch abort system. So it's a very complicated process here, this entire mission. But they're going to go around the moon and fly back. It's a 10-day mission.
Houston flight copies. 22, 35, 12.
Affirm.
There you heard confirmation of the exact T0, 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
That's just 7 minutes away.
Our T0 is 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
And we'll be bringing that to you here in just a few moments.
There's no launch button. This is autonomous. But there is a button that keeps you from launching.
Yeah, they
That
can
button
stop it.
allows the GLS operator to pause the countdown outside of terminal count and during terminal count and submit a hold to the next holding point. So the clock won't stop right away. If there's an issue, we'll go to the next stable holding point. This is how GLS
Well, let's hope there isn't
configures
another
the
one.
rocket and ground systems to a stable point where they can stop the countdown if that's needed.
All right, so right now the countdown is still counting down, just about 6 minutes from launch, T-minus 6. NASA is resolving these technical issues. They've done that over the past couple of hours. And the crew of 3 Americans, 1 Canadian, scheduled to launch now in 6 minutes. The crew access arm is now moving away from the craft. Let me see if I can get a better view here. Yeah, here we go. So it's moving away now. Let me get this down here. So they can no longer exit the pad if they need to evacuate because that's their path off. So now we're into it's 7 minutes, not 6 minutes away. T-minus 7 and 20 seconds counting. It's all autonomous. Human beings not doing this anymore. I guess if you trust Microsoft, this is good, but I don't. All right.
Or in flight. This is critical safety hardware that protects the lives of the astronauts.
You see, NASA's proudly got its name emblazoned on those auxiliary rockets there for the Orion spacecraft. About ready to launch here in just over 6.5 minutes.
Starting at T-minus
from
6 minutes, the GLS
Florida.
will start bringing that and other high-energy systems online.
Kennedy
starting
Space
with
Center.
Four-stage pressurization.
Well, folks, we're getting close. And as we get closer here, we'll keep you updated. So, exciting times.
Weather is 90% go. The range is go.
The mission at this moment is a go.
Systems are go.
6 minutes to launch, and we're a go for the Artemis 2 mission.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
First manned mission to the moon in over 50 years.
That means the replenish valve for the liquid hydrogen tank has now closed, and that tank is beginning to pressurize to flight levels because that hydrogen is naturally boiling inside the tank.
Yeah, it is. Approaching 5 minutes now, folks.
We'll
5
get the
minutes to
liquid
launch.
oxygen tank a little later in the count. Now the team is waiting for verification that, if needed, the Artemis 2 crew could use the launch abort system to pull Orion safely off the top of the rocket in an emergency.
Yeah, let's hope we don't
listen
need
to
that.
Call.
5 minutes, 20 seconds. So we
GLS
could.
verifies last capability available.
Okay.
And
So,
CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
That's great news, and you heard the NTD verify that with the commander of the mission.
GLS
T-minus
is go
5.
for TS arm.
5 minutes.
Now work is being done to arm the flight termination system. This is so the range safety can send a flight termination command if the rocket flies too far off track.
This guy's much better than the previous
There's
Artemis
a brief
mission.
built-in delay, so the launch abort system has time to pull the astronauts
GLS
to
is
safety
go for
first.
LH2 high flow bleed check.
All right.
All right, the high flow bleed check. That's so the cryo team gets verification that the RS-25 engines, all 4 of them, are in the proper temperature range for launch.
So many things could possibly go wrong with this launch. So complicated technologically and physically as well. And we're just now down about 4 minutes, T-minus 4. In just a moment on my mark as we approach 4 minutes to launch. Let's hope that it goes on time. I've got a radio show at 7, and I don't want to miss the launch. Yes. Here we go. T-minus 4. Mark.
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
All right.
Core stage APUs start. Those are auxiliary power
Auxiliary
units.
power units, APUs.
High-speed turbines which provide pressure to hydraulic pumps that steer the RS-25 engines. We're going to see a gimbal test a little later at T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is what allows that to happen. Coming up in about 20 seconds, we're listening for go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve. This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
Good.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbaling of the engines. There are the 4 RS-25s, 3 of them Shuttle Heritage, 1 of them built from shuttle parts. And there you see them moving.
Approaching 2 minutes. Yeah, there they are moving now. They're testing them, make sure that they adjust. They're in their position now.
Now we're going to start moving the power
There you go.
from both the upper stage and the lower stage of the rocket to internal.
2 minutes from launch. Let's hope we have no abort.
Power away, and now going to battery power.
On my mark, T-minus 2. And
GLS is
Mark.
go for upper stage to internal power.
all right, they're on internal power now with less than 2 minutes to launch.
Power is removed from the rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery. Same milestone for the lower core stage coming up at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Right now, the 4-person Artemis 2 crew is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
It's a 10-day mission. They come back for splashdown.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
They'll fly by the moon on.
There's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power.
All right, so the rocket's on its own power.
Hold time because there's no more margin on the batteries.
Well, it's going to go now unless there's a last moment abort.
To recharge if we had a hold.
On my mark, it'll be 1 minute to launch. T-minus 1 minute on my mark. And Mark, 1 minute to go. All systems go. All systems go.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS.
And this is when we find out if Microsoft screws us and the thing gets aborted at 30 seconds or not. So get ready. Oh, he needs to shut up. Get ready for a computer abort here at T-minus 30. Let's see what happens.
GLS go for ALS.
Great call out.
All right, computer has control.
4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket
Ever built.
NASA has ever launched.
Where's the clock?
Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
T-minus 15.
And here we go. 10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
2,
1, and liftoff. We have liftoff.
liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now back.
There she goes.
Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Godspeed. Look at all that thrust. Whoa!
Roger, roll pitch.
They're already rolling. There's some telemetry data.
Flight of integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
Wow.
30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System course.
Looking good so far.
3 miles in altitude.
Just the sound of that
1,200 miles per hour.
propulsion. You can hear the crowds. You can hear the crowds now cheering him on.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
Max Q. This is where the heaviest torque and stress on the ship occurs.
Have you the same?
Look at that.
Communication
Thrust.
signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis 2 mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour.
SpaceX does a much better job with the information on the screen than NASA's doing. You'd think they know better after doing this for decades. Look at it go. Still hear this from the ground. That's the microphone on the ground. You're hearing it. Different cameras
1
position.
minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark.
All things look pretty good so far.
Throttle down.
We don't really need to see the crowds of NASA employees. Can we go back to space? I don't really care to see them.
Separation.
There's the separation. The boosters are off.
Converged.
See, the two boosters have separated. They'll be coming back down to Earth rather quickly.
Integrity.
There you go.
Converged. Performance nominal. Upper stage RCS ready. Copy all, Stan.
Almost looks fake there from space.
Integrity. SM priming complete. SM priming complete.
Wow, that's the first time I've been able to put a launch party on and it has been delayed.
Of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation.
What's that?
3 minutes into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour.
Woo! Oh, there's the fairing separation right there. So NASA's leaving its rubbish in space. It'll fall back in the atmosphere and burn up. But you can see the boosters coming down. See that?
Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston Integrity. Good last jettison. Great view.
That's from the ship.
Copy jettison. Team Eco 8+02.
MECO 8+02. Main engine cut off. They've never hit there.
Same on board, Stan. And Houston has you loud and clear on Tidris at the Carmen line.
It's been a long time coming.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis 2, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy.
So they're now in space.
Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
So that was MECO I heard called. Yep. 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Just absolutely amazing stuff here. Again, SpaceX does a far better job of this, but SpaceX is focused on, NASA's focused on science. You think they'd be focused on people learning, but there we go. T plus 4 minutes, 37 seconds, about time that went back up on the screen. And there's an image from the craft as it is in space now.
Integrity, GPS processing.
All right. We've heard from the crew and from NASA on the ground.
Standing Stan, we see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
It is early evening here on the East Coast, and of course Cape Canaveral's in Florida.
Approaching 5 minutes into the flight, Commander Reed Wiseman confirms he has visuals of his destination. GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes internal checks and sends to navigation channels.
The scary part about this is it's all been controlled by computers.
Integrity, 3 engine press. 3 engine press.
All right, that's
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry Integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
No, I don't think they're using Elon's rocket for this one. So, we're almost 6 minutes in the launch here. Still some other events coming up here shortly, but...
Integrity, looking good at 6 minutes.
Same on board, Stan.
Okay.
Good trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Friedling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity, 78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity, expect nominal shutdown.
So that was animation there. We have nominal shutdown, main engine cutoff in just a moment here. That was an animation. So look at the smoke at from the NASA Space Control Center there.
6 minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight.
Well, we're not at 8 minutes and 2 seconds. We've still got a minute and 2 seconds to get to that. So this is unlike any other NASA mission they've had in the past.
7 minutes of mission elapsed time.
Everything from the Space Launch System, that's the rocket they're using. That's not Elon's
Throttling
rocket.
down as we approach the abort once around option.
It's all thrown away.
Milestone at the 7-minute 30-second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Getting speed up there.
AOA open.
Getting ready for main engine cutoff here then.
AOA open.
You probably could have seen it
Window
from
is
North
now
Carolina.
open for an abort once around option that would target splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal ascent at this time.
Ascent. Yeah. At 1,381 miles
10
above Earth's
seconds
surface.
remaining until the main engine cutoff of the Space Launch System core stage. Standing by for confirmation of MECO and core stage separation.
All right, once we get to MECO, I'll give you some explanation as to what's happening here, and we'll turn his voice off for a moment. MECO should be at any moment here. Main engine cutoff. It's amazing we have a camera that can see that far away. There it is.
Integrity and nominal MECO, core stage separated.
All right, main engine cutoff, and they've separated.
We see the same on board, Stan.
All right, so we've hit MECO. Core stage separation has also occurred almost immediately
40
afterwards.
seconds into the flight, we have a nominal main engine cutoff heading in the right trajectory on the way to swing around the moon. Core stage has separated, done its job. The Space Launch System upper stage, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, or ICPS, still attached to the Orion spacecraft.
And the solar array, the wings are going to open up here shortly, and then they'll move to a higher altitude.
9 minutes of mission elapsed time. Integrity crew of Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen now in orbit around the Earth at the beginning of their journey to the moon.
All right, let me turn him off for a couple minutes here and explain to you that Orion will be coasting at 1,381 miles. Okay, they're looking pretty good so far. The messages came in from the capsule. The engine in the upper stage fire for the first time to ensure that the vehicle stays in orbit and doesn't re-enter the atmosphere. And they'll surpass a record for the farthest that people have traveled from Earth while still in orbit around the planet. That record was once held by the astronauts of Gemini 11, who traveled in 1966, 853 miles above the Earth's surface. But in 2024, Jared Isaacman, before he became a NASA administrator, eclipsed that record when he led a private space mission called Polaris Dawn to a height of 870 miles. Yep. Then comes the unusual part of the Artemis 2 trajectory. Artemis 2's 1,381-mile record will last only about 13 hours as the Orion capsule swoops past Earth along its elliptical orbit, and the second stage will fire again to put the spacecraft in what NASA has called high Earth orbit. The second stage will then be discarded. And by high, NASA means really, really high. On the second orbit around Earth, Artemis 2 will set a brand new record of 43,730 miles, or close to 1/5 of the distance to the moon. That distance, compared to Mr. Isaacman's current record, will be like breaking the men's world record for the shot put of 77 feet, 3.5 inches by flinging a 16-pound metal ball out of the stadium 3/4 of a mile away. So that's pretty incredible. So we're waiting for the solar panels to. This is obviously an animation. No longer seeing the cameras from the mission. So that's obviously an animation there.
And Integrity Houston for PWD setup. Just a reminder, halfway open on the secondary.
We copy that.
So 11 minutes, 22 seconds now since launch.
Passing 11 minutes of mission elapsed time. Here, overhearing the conversation between Capcom Stan Love and Commander Reed Wiseman, already passing some milestones. We have a good nozzle extension deployment system. That is confirmed. Complete. We also have the visors are confirmed up. Now past the dynamic phase of flight, that is ascent. The launch and entry suits that provided
12 minutes since launch.
Protection. Now not as needed. They're going to raise those visors. And later in today's mission, they will begin to egress or get out of the suits to begin some of their initial tasks of activating some of the systems aboard in the Integrity spacecraft.
Traveling at 18,000 miles per hour.
12 minutes of mission
Now
elapsed
200
time.
miles from Earth.
The perigee rays.
Hey, Debbie, what's up?
That's
Thank you
targeted,
for the super chat.
50 minutes of mission elapsed time, 49 minutes, 50 seconds. That's what the crew is going to be working towards. The Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover will focus on preparing for that milestone.
You can see the clock counting down the bottom right-hand corner, the distance to the moon.
Meantime, mission specialist Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen will start some of the activation of environmental control life support systems. You may hear confirmation of their activation over the Orion to Earth communication network.
This, of course, is visualization you see on the screen. It's not the actual craft. No cameras on it from where it's at.
Houston, C3 aux power back in auto.
Copy C3 aux, and we're 2 minutes to maneuver.
Okay. We'll see if we get this solar array. I wonder if they'll switch to a camera on board the craft to see the solar panels array open up. That would be something else. I don't know. See, with SpaceX, the timeline would be there that would tell us how far it is, but NASA's brain dead. They're not telling. You got kids all over the country, all over the world watching this, trying to be inspired, and they're not getting information.
13 minutes and 30 seconds of mission elapsed time. We're going to continue to follow the crew of the
Here we go.
Artemis 2
There's the
mission.
craft.
They are beginning their journey.
You can see the
around
atmosphere of the
moon to
Earth.
verify the systems that will take us to
See
its
that thin
surface.
blue
An incredible
line?
ascent. Artemis 2 is underway. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen begin their journey to the moon. Still milestones to come up as we await solar array deploy and the critical burns that will get Integrity into high Earth orbit around the Earth before engines are fired to get us around the moon.
So, now we go back to the all ladies broadcast.
Just saw Artemis 2 lift off
14 minutes ago.
And wow, what an amazing launch and an emotional one too. As soon as
Only
the
women
rocket
allowed to
lifted
be
off,
in
Nicole,
media for NASA.
You had tears in your eyes, I had tears in my eyes, and we had all these people around us cheering. It was amazing.
Yeah,
There's virtually no crowd there.
I mean, it was
This isn't like the Apollo launches.
You know, we've got 4 friends and family members headed to the moon. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, how does that make you feel as someone who, you know, is an astronaut as well, but also, as you said, friends?
Yeah, so just so proud of them. You know, man, we don't have the words in the English language to describe this kind of an event, and pride, love, so many emotions. You know, they are truly breaking some barriers, and hopefully, you know, as Gary just said, they've got a long day ahead of them, so wishing them well on everything, but so far, what a beautiful launch to watch.
It was.
To be returning to the lunar orbit in more than 50 years. Maybe they go farther from Earth than any other
Not
humans
maybe, they
before
will.
them. Maybe they see parts of the moon that we've never
Maybe
seen
they'll see
before.
aliens.
I mean, what a great start to what could be all
I
of
see
these,
aliens every day. I just go to my local Walmart.
in just a 10-day mission.
Yes, what a way to welcome in the Artemis generation.
Yeah, how do you feel?
What a
We
throwback.
saw some
She's
beautiful
got one of
shots
those
we were
pens, the
covering
Bics that have 4-color
of
inks
the
that you push
rocket,
from the
of
top.
course, the
I haven't
Earth,
seen somebody with one of those for
falling
years.
away as we continued up into our ascents, but also some of those crowd shots where we saw young and old just emotional, overcome by this history-making moment.
Man, we are going back to the moon for all, and we saw that today. We saw that in all the crowds. And yeah, you guys just saw that view, the sunrise or sunset, I guess. They just made it over the crest of the Earth, and you could see the sun peeking over. One of my favorite views from space, and I can't imagine what they're looking at now, and I can't wait to see what they're looking at in about 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, and you know, I know a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm surprised this launched on the first try, because we know like any little
usually
thing,
gets
we
delayed.
have to be keeping safety in mind, and we want to make sure we're ready to go, but we were ready to go, and I think it surprised a lot of people. What a wonderful surprise on this Wednesday evening.
It did, you know, and it kind of surprised me as well, but you know, it's just a testament to the team here that has been working.
It's 10 days to the moon and back.
Artemis. You know, Artemis 1, we learned a ton of lessons.
They'll
We
be there in
learned
a couple
ton from
days to the moon.
For Artemis 2, we were able to go in, fix those things. We even had a couple mishaps today, not mishaps,
Yeah,
but
well,
a
they
couple
had a problem with battery.
anomalies today that the team creatively came up with solutions for. It's just a testament to the teamwork that gets us to the moon.
And so we can continue to watch Christina, Reed, Victor, and Jeremy on their way now to the moon in Earth's orbit and awaiting the next in-flight milestones, deploying Orion's solar arrays. So why don't we get back in with the mission control and Gary.
Gary, wake up.
Hey, thank you, Megan. Again, we're following along in the action. It is a long day. They have a number of procedures they need to get to immediately in their timeline.
And Integrity Houston, cross-tie is on board per the ETSI-DEM.
We copy Houston, thank you.
Let's just go up here so I'm out of the way. Yep, 17 minutes. Yeah, she's like, all these people, this woman has no historical reference. Yeah, this happens on... Shut up. This guy just opened time. Every time I try to say something, he's got to open his mouth. So, yeah, listen, this is going to happen on Trump's watch. We're going to put people on the moon on Trump's watch after nearly 60 years. We're going to have the Olympics here. We're going to have the FIFA World Cup here, our 250th anniversary. It's all happening on Trump's watch. This had to have been destined that he didn't win the second time and came back for this. It's 10 days whirlwind, that's correct.
Cryogenic propulsion system are maneuvering tail to sun. It is in this orientation, this attitude.
MCC Mission Control Center.
And Reed, no action. We're looking at it.
Okay, what's going on? Something happening there. Minor, hopefully.
Commander Reed Wiseman verifying what is being routed to his displays aboard Integrity. Propulsion engineer confirming that no action is needed at this time. They're pressing through with their nominal procedures to prepare for the perigee raise maneuver. And of course, the solar array wing deploy ahead of that.
All right, at 20 minutes, T+20, I'm going to have to drop off, folks. I've got a radio program coming up in a few minutes.
We'll continue to have our coverage follow the mission until that deployment. Successful launch is just the beginning. The deployment of the solar arrays and successful confirmation that those solar array wings are drawing power is a significant milestone, and says to the flight control teams that we will continue on today's mission. Power needs to be drawn to continue through some of the next milestones.
Yeah, and when does that happen, genius?
The AOA open option that was called up upon ascent, the abort once around, is the current option, and abort to orbit option ATO will be switched to a preferred mode at the time that the solar array wings are deployed and latched. It gives the flight control teams a little bit more flexibility.
Integrity Houston, update on TDRS handover for your pad.
Oops, now my camera's not working.
Give us just 1 minute. And Stan, you can read it. Ike is ready to copy.
And my camera doesn't want to work.
TDRS handover east to west expected
There we go.
1 second earlier at 5:1 minutes 26 seconds.
All right, folks, that's going to do it. Thank you for tuning in and watching this launch with me. I'll be on the radio program in just a couple of minutes here. So pretty incredible stuff there as the Artemis 2 launch finally takes place. And well done to NASA. But again, SpaceX does a far more professional job getting everybody set up. So you'll be redirected automatically to my radio program, which is coming up in just a few moments. That's the Common Sense Conservatives. And after that, President Trump will be speaking tonight about Iran to the nation and the world. And you'll be able to tune into that as well. So you back-to-back-to-back coverage tonight, even though I'm knackered and just coming back from Las Vegas. But we'll keep it going here. All right, so up in just about 3 minutes, it'll be the Common Sense Conservatives right here on the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Yeah, get your snacks, get your popcorn, get ready. Lots happening tonight. We'll see what Trump has to say. Is he going to call it off in Iran? I don't know. But we're just minutes away from that. All right, everybody. Cheers. Take care. Thanks for being here. And congratulations to the Artemis 2 crew on a successful launch. Godspeed on their 10-day mission to orbit around the moon and come back and land for splashdown. All right, we'll see you guys here in just a couple minutes on the radio program. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done already. Cheers.